Grand Duchess Alexandra Nikolaevna of Russia was the youngest daughter and third child of Tsar Nicholas I, Emperor of Russia, and his wife, Princess Charlotte of Prussia. She was a younger sister of Tsar Alexander II of Russia. Biography. She was the namesake of her paternal aunt, Grand Duchess Alexandra Pavlovna, who died in childbirth along with her stillborn daughter in 1801, but in the family she was known as Adini. According to her sister Olga's memoirs, Alexandra had inherited her mother's Prussian look. It was also said that she resembled her late maternal grandmother, Queen Louise of Prussia. Nicholas affectionately spoke of Adini as a little moppet but very sweet. Alexandra was famous in St. Petersburg society for both her wit and her lively personality. She was also the musician in the family. A serious student of vocal music, she was talented enough to qualify for lessons from the famous soprano Henriette Sontag. On the 28th of January 1844, Alexandra married Prince Frederick William of Hesse in St. Petersburg. Her husband was the only son of Prince William of Hesse and Princess Louise Charlotte of Denmark. Fritz, as he was called, had come to St. Petersburg as a prospective bridegroom for Olga, but fell in love with Adini instead on the first evening he spent with the family. Although Olga was the elder daughter and also found Fritz to be an engaging young man, she graciously stepped aside in favor of her sister, and even chaperoned the couple when they wanted to spend time together away from the prying eyes of the court. The Emperor and Empress then gave the permission for Alexandra and Fritz to be married. Alexandra became acutely ill with tuberculosis shortly before her wedding, and this complicated the pregnancy which soon followed. She was never well enough to travel to Hesse and take up her new position with her husband. They stayed in St. Petersburg, where her health rapidly declined. She went into labor prematurely, 3 months before the child was due, and gave birth to a son, Wilhelm. The infant died shortly after he was born, and Alexandra died later the same day. Her parents were devastated, and her grief would last until the end of their lives. She was buried at the Peter and Paul Fortress in St. Petersburg. Her son was buried in Rumpenheim. 9 years later, Fritz married Adini's first cousin, Princess Anna of Prussia, as his second wife. Eventually he became head of the House of Hesse-Kassel. Although they had 6 children together, Fritz and Anna were never emotionally close, and it is speculated that one reason was because Fritz was unable to overcome his grief for his first wife. In the gardens of the Peterhof Palace near St. Petersburg there is a memorial bench with a small sculpture bust of the Grand Duchess. Her rooms there have been preserved just as they were at the time of her death. 6 sheaves of wheat made of diamonds, which came to Hesse on one of the gowns in Alexandra's trousseau, were transformed into a tiara by Anna around 1900. This tiara is now the traditional wedding tiara of the Hessian princely family, and was last worn by Floria of Faber-Castell when in 2003 she married Donatus, hereditary Prince of Hesse, Adini's husband's great-great-grandson by his second marriage. Ancestry.